Well, hello, friends. This is Kimberly. It's episode 337, and I am so glad that you are here today because this is part 2 of an interview that I have done with holistic health and fitness coach Cam Allen. So if you listened to last week, we talked all about things that no one tells you about exercise and fitness during midlife. Today, we're talking about her health coaching business and what that looks like, and just some casual chatter that she had from business owner to business owner with me. And it was just a great natural conversation that many of you may never get to hear. You don't normally get to hear business owners talking to each other and overhearing their conversation and what they're sharing and what they're thinking through. And that's why I wanted to create this as its own standalone episode, because I think it's super important. Okay. I wanted to also make sure too that if you are enjoying what you're hearing from Cam and you feel like you need to get a grip on your health and fitness journey, she does have a podcast called The Midlife Method, which there's a link below. And as she shared last week, she is giving a discount to all of you listeners on her midlife minis. These are 10-minute strength training workouts that you can start doing literally in a few minutes. If you just click the link down below, go to her site. Normally they're $97, but they're $27 for my listeners. So make sure you take advantage of this today. It's $70 off. So that's awesome for you. Also, too, if you're new here to this podcast, I'm so happy that you are here. This podcast exists to help you build a successful business doing what you love, whatever that is, and to help you do it correctly in this season of life. I love to share stories of entrepreneurs like this with Cam Allen. I also love sharing my experience from my last 26 years as a business owner. And I love to encourage you because I know that the journey can be bumpy and it can be scary and it can be hard. But I will tell you, it will be one of the most rewarding journeys of your entire life. It will test your strength. It will test your willpower, but you will be amazed at the person you become when you build your own successful business. So I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you hit follow right now if you are not subscribed to this podcast. All that means is you click the little check mark or the plus button, like if you're an Apple Podcast, and you follow this podcast. That means each week you'll just get a little pop-up when you open podcast that says, hey, she's just getting started, has a new episode out. I don't want you to miss out on anything that I know is going to help you along your journey. So that is it. You are jumping right into the middle of the conversation with Cam and I, and I'm so glad that you're here for it. Okay, that's it. On to the episode. So Cam, here we are, part 2. I'm super excited about this section, of course, as y'all know, because we get to talk about how she actually turned something that she loved and something that meant something to her into a business. Okay, as you all know, Cam is a holistic health and fitness coach, and she hasn't always been. She was a teacher, but I wanted her to share her story on the business side. So for those of you that maybe are thinking about starting a business or you're starting one now, you can hear about her journey and what it took and all that good stuff. So hopefully to give you some insights so that you can make money doing what you love to. So Cam, take it away. Tell us your story.
Okay. Yeah. It was an evolving. It wasn't like, oh, I'm starting a business and it just happened. I was
Okay.
kind of between two worlds for a minute. I was still coaching in the physical gym.
Okay.
I had gone back to school to become a health coach because I wanted to figure it out for myself.
Okay.
As I said in the other episode, I didn't know about my health. I
Right.
thought I was invincible.
Right.
I thought I was strong and healthy
Right.
forever. So that was the first thing, understanding it for myself. And then I would say for a few years, maybe 2 years, I was kind of between two worlds. So I was in the physical gym and also trying to do something online.
Okay.
And just kind of in between. And honestly, 2020, the gyms were open and closed, open and closed. And I remember in December of 20, our governor closed our gyms again because of COVID. And I found out our gym was closing on a Facebook Live that I accidentally happened to come across. And it was our gym owner telling us that the gyms were closing again.
Okay.
Didn't tell the coaches, and
So you were an employee working there as a coach, and then it said,
Yes.
"Oh, we're closed," and you're like, "Say what? You haven't even
It
told
was December 20, and I remember using that hiatus. I sat down, I figured out my website. I'm like, I'm doing this thing. And I think I finally retired from coaching in person in February of 21. And then I'm like, okay, I'm online. I'm just doing this.
I'm going to do this. Okay. So
Yeah.
you said you wanted to
It
be a
was,
health coach.
yeah, it was I think it was the Facebook Live that was like,
That was
okay,
it.
I've been living in these two worlds. We're open, we're closed. What are we doing? But the fact that I found out on the Facebook Live by accident that
Mhm.
we were no longer had a job for a minute, I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly. So you wanted to be your own boss and like not have this happen to
100%.
you. And a lot of my listeners are like that. A lot of them have jobs now and they
Uh-huh.
kind of want to get it kick-started, right? And
Right.
so I think there's the beauty of that. But then sometimes something happens like that, like the Facebook Live, and you're like, okay, I'm out of here.
I think I was using it as a crutch. I'm like, oh, I'm still coaching in person, and giving myself, I call them hall passes.
Yeah.
I was giving myself way too many hall passes. So when you just rip the band-aid off and you're like, nope, this is what I'm doing. Goodbye. I'm not coaching anymore in person. I'm going to do this thing online.
Okay.
So the whole time, 2020, 2021 was really strange online. Were you online then
Yes.
too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was just it was
It
strange.
was bizarre. Yeah.
It was bizarre, and then you're like, "Is this how it normally is? Or
Right. Right.
or am I just new to this?" Because I was very new to it. And I think, like, getting out there and just saying how you help people, and I think that's, like, the motivating, like, if you can help one person a day, like, if I can just help one person understand what's happening in life, then I need to use my voice, and I have to use my talents and my skills to help somebody, then you kind of get out of your own way. But honestly, like, posting on social media was terrifying.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, it still is. I'm saying like it
Mhm.
was like that was the past. No, it's not like it doesn't come natural.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Right, because then there's this fear of, like, who's gonna judge me, or what if, yeah, all of that. So
right, right. Okay, so you were a school teacher before that. Then
yeah.
were you a trainer or you were a
Yeah, I was a
coach?
CrossFit coach and athlete, and,
Okay,
I managed the gym. The gym I retired from was the second gym. I had moved to Kentucky at the time. So,
okay,
my home gym I was there for, like, 9 years, and then I was at this other gym for, like, 1 or 2 years.
okay. So you already have
Mhm.
this history of loving to teach and to share information with
Correct.
people. Then you
Mhm.
took your passion for health and like
Uh-huh.
CrossFit and all that, and you turned it
Mhm.
into that. But then you said for your own knowledge, you wanted to
Yes.
get more certified and learn more about health. And so that's when
Yes.
you got into training and you went to was it like a school, a certification?
Yeah, certification, and I'm
Okay.
still in classes.
Okay.
I feel like it's ongoing. I've been in a group, they call themselves Functional Nutrition since 2021, and
Okay.
we have, like, 2 calls a week, and so I'm very still involved in learning what's involving and understanding myself, and then obviously more experience with clients, what works in the real world. It's kind of all of those things combined. I love learning, so
Yes.
I feel
Yes.
like I'll
Yes.
always be in some kind of
Yes.
certification. My latest, I would say for the last year, is my goal is to become the best coach I can become. Like, I understand the protocols, I understand the science. I get that part now. Now the challenge is, how can I help women actually take the protocols and get into action? And that's what I've been focused on for the last year, I would say.
Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
So in 2021, you said, "I'm gonna get my website figured out. I'm gonna do this." So what happened? You got on a platform. What did you get?
Yep.
What software platform did you get on back then?
Yeah, so I was on
Okay,
Kajabi,
you
so
did start
everything
on there.
runs through Kajabi.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
landing pages, emails, everything, payment plans, everything goes
Okay,
through Kajabi. The courses are there as well. So in December of 21, no, in December of 20 is when I figured out my website, and I'm
okay.
like, "Okay, let's just go.
Right,
Here we go. Let's,
right,
get
right,
out there." And I think my first thing was, obviously you need to build an email list. How do you do that? You
right.
know? And just started posting on social media and asking people to sign up for my email list. That's how I started. And I
Okay.
feel like that was the big do a freebie, get a freebie out there
That
into
was
the
that
world.
whole era. Yeah. So you were
Mhm.
offering something for free to give them.
Correct.
People would sign
Mhm.
up on your email list. You'd have their email. You'd give them the freebie, and then your thought was, okay, then I can keep marketing to them via email or social media. to
Correct.
upsell to what did you offer at first? Like one-on-one coaching, or what was your
Yes,
first
I
like
did.
offer?
Yes, one-on-one, and that's still my favorite. I think
It
one-on-one
is so
coaching. I feel
fun.
like you make the biggest
Yes,
impact
yes.
with somebody. Like working in that relationship is very sacred to me, and that's probably my favorite way to work with clients is one-on-one.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is similar to me too, like, we have a
Hmm.
similar story, and so you start out with the one-on-one coaching, and then you offer that, and you start learning more about
Correct.
the problems people have. And are you still focused on fitness and a little bit of health, or what's the kind of ratio of how you, because how does one decide that when you're
Yeah.
getting your business set up?
I feel like the majority of people are health-based. I think strength training, I offer that, like, when we work one-on-one, you get programs, so you are doing that on your own. I do train one person one person in person. That didn't make sense. But,
One-on-one?
I do yeah, I just have one in-person client because I've known her since we were 18, so
Okay.
she's here. Um, but I prefer to work online, because it gives me the flexibility and freedom, which I'd like to talk about that because I think businesses, whatever your values are, that's really important, like integrity, freedom. Like when I was a classroom teacher, you could not even use the restroom when you needed to,
Mm,
or you had like 3 minutes to eat lunch.
right, right,
So
right, right.
those are no's for me. Like I make my own schedule now. Freedom is definitely freedom to travel, freedom to use the restroom, freedom to manage myself. That was a big deal. And so I think that was one of the drivers as far as starting my own business. Even the Facebook story, like there was no freedom there. I was
No.
at somebody else's mercy,
Right,
right?
right, right, right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important, understanding what is your motivation behind it. So initially it was my health, but if I dig deeper, it was really about creating financial freedom and freedom of time while making an impact and helping other people. So that's really, I think, the transition. I knew in when I was coaching in the gym, especially at the end, I was part of the problem. These women were working all day, working out late at night. They weren't eating. They were really stressed out, and I was part of the problem. And if I moved online, I could be part of the solution. I could help somebody and not be part of their problem.
Yeah, I love that. I think for anyone who's thinking about starting a business or you're starting now is to realize, like, what business are you really in? And, like,
Mhm.
think about why you're doing it and have a mission behind it, which I think most everyone listening does,
Mhm.
but to really identify that. And you saw it as there was a problem in the industry. I wanted to be part of the solution. And I think when
Mhm.
we look at it like that, like, what's the solution that I'm actually offering and why? Why is
Mhm.
this better than the status quo or how things have been done and all that? So I love that. So you really wanted that freedom. You wanted to be your own boss. You wanted to have flexibility, and your kids are off to
Mhm.
college and all that. So then what happens? You're a year or two into it, and what's happening?
Yeah, so that's probably when I started my group. I do have an online group. So a lot of
Yes.
times one-on-one clients need another bucket to go into after they're finished. Their one-on-one client, package is done or they're not interested in continuing, but they still want something. So I developed a group, and that's been like an answer. You'll see when you start, you just need to start, what your people need. And so you just create what the next logical step is
Okay.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. So for service providers that are listening, starting with the one-on-one services is perfect.
perfect.
So much to
Yes.
learn. You get paid well. You can
Uh-huh.
start lower if you feel weird, but based on your experience, you probably can go ahead and charge
Uh-huh.
a good amount. And then you can get going. And then you can move in, like she said, to another bucket for
Uh-huh.
them, which is maybe some kind of group program where you have calls a couple times a month and
Yep. That's what we
regroup.
do.
And do you have courses
Uh-huh.
too that you do you upload videos of
I
trainings, or
ye
what's your thought on that?
Yeah, so I do have courses, but I haven't actively promoted them for probably 3 years. When I first went online, I'm like, "I'm a teacher. I'm gonna be the online course queen,"
Yeah.
because that's like
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
I
That's
love
what was
taking
going on.
courses. Yeah, and I love doing that. But I haven't done that. I have one in my brain that maybe someday I'll figure it out. But right now it's one-on-one coaching, then the group, and then I have workouts that are like programs.
Okay. And what is your thoughts right now as someone who was thinking about doing courses and you thought this would be the way? And I know that was
Mhm.
all the rage
All the
in
rage. Yeah.
2021,
Yep.
22. What are your thoughts now? If someone says, I have a service, I'm doing one on one, do they need a course? What is your thoughts on that?
I feel like I love the one-on-one. I just
Mhm.
feel like it's most impactful and it's totally personalized. And like I said, I describe it as a sacred relationship. I think that when someone is being vulnerable and you're holding space for them, there's nothing more powerful.
Right,
You
right,
can really make a big impact that
right,
way.
right,
It's not necessarily scalable. Or what's your
right.
thought on that?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
know. I mean, I've experienced the same thing. I just love asking people like you who are also sort of in the same industry where you're offering a
Right.
service and you're a coach. I mean, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I love and I have it's been over a year now that I've been saying that. I'm like, I really love the one-on-one coaching. And the
Uh-huh.
thing was for a while that was almost looked down upon. And everyone was pushing courses and do all these other things, which can be great and add value and help other
Uh-huh.
people. But I do agree that the most value seems to be, or the most impact is when you're one-on-one or even small group cohorts and things like that. It just depends on what you want your business to be. And this reminds
Uh-huh.
me of our first conversation talking about the you diet, right? I think your business has to be the you business.
Mhm.
And people could look at me and go, "Well, you should be doing this. Why don't you still have this? Do this, do that." I'm like, I'm in a stage of life that I've hustled and all this my whole life. And now I can do one-on-one coaching and I can travel with my husband. My daughter's about to
Uh-huh.
go off. I'm about to be an empty nester. And that's freedom to me. And so for you, you're building freedom for you and everyone listening. Your business
Mhm.
should be around your season of life. It should
Right.
be what you want. So for you, it sounds like from what you were saying that you were building it in this season for the season of your life. Would you agree?
I feel like it is. Yeah, when I
Mhm.
did have a course, I still did weekly calls. So there was like a hybrid. It
Yes,
wasn't just like,
yes, yes,
"Here you go, just
yes.
go do this thing by yourself."
Right, right.
And that's, my next iteration. So I have another program in my head for the second iteration of the menopause minis. It's going to be the metabolic minis,
Mm.
which is metabolic conditioning. So anyway, it's similar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, it's all in my head, but I do want more connection with those women because I don't have any interaction with them. Some of them are in the cohort for the group coaching. I think that's the next thing I'm thinking about. Like, how can I be more of a coach to them other than, here's this thing, see you later. Like, I don't want that. I want the relationship. So
Right,
been working on that. Will it be one-on-one coaching? Probably not. If they want that, I'm
right,
available for that. But I think it's more of um a monthly support.
right,
I think
right.
that's
On
the
their
next
journey.
iteration for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for everyone that provides a service that's listening to this, you have to think about, is this something that you need to keep helping them with and you need to be on
Uh-huh.
the journey with them, or is this a one or a two-time thing and then they're off and gone? And you have to figure that out for your type of offering and your niche.
Exactly. And I also I want women to be empowered, so I don't want them to be, like, dependent on me, and also, I have this thing if you need something. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like between 2 worlds, if you will.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you see yourself continuing coaching and maybe the iterations of what you offer will vary coming,
Uh-huh.
in the next few years or whatever, but you love this. You love being coach.
Uh-huh.
And why do you love being a coach?
I think it's making an impact, and, like,
Mhm.
when I was at my lowest low, there were people and mentors in my life that helped me get out of that lowest low, and then understanding that there's all this information on the internet, which I did not know back in
Right.
2019,
Right.
2020.
Right.
And now it's more obvious. Like you can take a class on anything right now if you wanted to. But I just love learning and I love helping other women learn about
Mhm.
themselves because I was out of touch for a minute and I was like, yeah, no one needs to be in all that confusion. And also if they grew up in a situation where their parents didn't really talk about their bodies or hormones or
Right.
menstrual cycles, like, okay, where do you go to find
Where
that
do
out?
you Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
go to Judy Blume's book?
I
Like, what
know.
do
Yeah.
you
I mean, I've read that when I was young, and that's
do?
probably
Get
all that
get
I heard as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
What was that? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, is that how we learn?
Yeah, we're dating
Maybe.
ourselves, but yes, I remember that in, like,
It's okay.
elementary school, like, passing it around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but, yeah, it's so true because how do you find out? But,
Uh,
of course, now with the internet and everything going on. But for anyone who wants to be a coach or wants to
mhm.
offer, what advice do you have?
Yeah. So imagine your ideal client, who she or he is, and then I would say, what do they need? And how can I help them? And if you come every day to serve somebody else, help somebody else, even if it's just one person on the internet, that is amazing. And I think that helps me post on social media like, would this be helpful? Would
Right,
somebody find benefit out of this? Would this There's a lot of noise, honestly. I don't really talk about health on the internet because I don't wanna be part of the noise.
right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I do
that's a hard balance there of, like, I
exactly,
don't yeah,
because you could hear anything on the on the internet, and I do have, protocols and my beliefs about it, but I feel like I save that more for my one-on-one clients, which I don't know is necessarily accurate. Like, I have a
right.
one-on-one client now, she's like, "I didn't even know you could read labs." I'm like, I should probably talk about this."
Yeah, yeah, that I can read the labs and yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And help you with your lifestyle. I'm not gonna prescribe medicine or hormones, that's out of my scope of practice, but I have these skills, so it's kinda like finding the balance between not being the noise, but being part of the solution for somebody.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. Well,
Mhm.
also too, you have a podcast, so you've kinda done you
I
and I have
do.
had similar journeys here,
Yeah.
and I've loved having a podcast. What, made you decide to start one, and what do you see the future of your podcast to be?
I think podcast is a great way to help women, more than a 7-second reel on Instagram, honestly, like, what is that gonna do?
Mhm, mhm.
But when you have a conversation or, I talk about strength training and I talk more about, so we didn't talk about this, but the 4 bodies. You have your energetic body, which is your spiritual body, your emotional, mental body that creates your physical body. So I can talk about more of my woo-y things and how that ties into taking care of your physical body. So,
I
I get
love
to talk
that.
about
It gives you
yeah,
freedom for people to get to know
freedom.
you better and to
Yes.
hear about more about what you know and your opinions, and the truth is, we like to buy and support people that we learn from, that we agree with how they think, or that they're teaching something, and your podcast is a way for you to do all of that and create a
100%.
rapport and
Yeah.
get to know you and your
Yeah.
quirks and your laugh and
Yeah.
all your stuff, so I think it's super cool. How long have you had your podcast?
So this one I think is I've had 2. The first one was 3.5 years, and I
Mm.
had a partner,
Yes.
and that was fun. It was just 2
Yes.
girlfriends
Yes.
chatting about
Yes.
midlife, and then that kind of like you just know when it's time to
Yeah.
move on,
Yeah.
and so that's what happened. So I think I'm at 74 episodes, so that's weekly,
Yeah,
so
that's
74
awesome, a
weeks.
little
Yeah,
over a year, so it's called the
yeah,
Midlife Method, and the link will be
correct.
below for you to listen to
Yeah,
Kim. So you talk about okay, so tell us again. So you talk about the 4 what'd you say?
the 4
Bodies?
bodies.
Okay, I'm trying to, like, learn this, the 4 bodies, and
Yeah.
you talk about all that. And I know
Mhm.
too, you and I had chatted about this, that you became is it NLP certified? And what is
Yeah,
NLP for
okay.
everyone
Yeah,
listening?
so for the last year, I'm like, how can I be a more effective stellar coach? Like, how can I get better results?
Okay.
Because they know the stuff. The women that I know are smart. They
Okay.
know what to do, but they're not like following through. Maybe they start, something happens. Like, so neuro linguistic programming is the language of your mind. And so 95% of your daily actions are automatic. Your subconscious mind handles it. And your subconscious mind runs the body. So 95% of the stuff is run by your unconscious mind, which runs your body. So, how can we speak to that side of our brain and get better results? So
Right.
it's about language.
Okay, it's so interesting. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, it's so good.
I've heard people talk about that and I'm like, so
What?
okay, so how does that translate to you? Okay, you wanted to get certified so that you could help your
Uh-huh.
clients better. So
Yes.
how does it help you? Like, what have you seen the difference? Like, did you just get certified or have you had time to
It's been a year. So
Okay.
I've
Okay.
done my second one was when was that? I don't know, my mastery level. So that was
Okay.
level 2. It also includes hypnosis. So
Wow.
I don't
What?
actively do that, and maybe someday, but it's listening to language and understanding how your client's brain is working and how their model of the world. So part of it is I need to totally respect my client's model of the world. And how can I help them see something differently and see more opportunities? Or are they
Wow, that's
using,
fascinating.
yeah, are they using like pressure language? I should, I could, I have to. Like if they're using pressure language, how can I help them see it in another way where you get to, like reframing something is an example of NLP, reframing something. Or what if you're really good at taking care of, let's say, other people in your life? How can we change the context and take really good care of you in your life? Like, if you can do it over here, how can we transfer it to over here? So that's an example. And also, like language, for example, if they say, I see what you mean, or I hear what you mean, or I really feel that. So that's part of our senses. So some people are auditory, I hear it. Some people are visual. So I need to know how they're learning or if they feel it in their body. I'm a feeler in the body. Like if something upsets me, I have literally a gut
Yeah.
feeling in my
Yeah.
stomach or a lump in my throat or a pain in my neck or if
Yeah.
something like that. My body is like the barometer of what's going on. Most people are visual, but it's just another way to communicate with your brain. How can we get the information in and make the client see that they have more choices in life? Like,
Okay.
I believe there's 8 ways to climb the mountain, not one way.
Right. 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 There's different ways to approach it.
Mhm,
That's fascinating. Yeah, I
mhm.
love that. I love that. So how do you decide like what to keep getting certifications in and more training? So all of us want to have more accolades and have more certifications and learn more to
Yeah.
help our clients. How do you discern what you should and shouldn't be doing?
So I feel like I'm done.
Yeah,
I
you've done a
told you
lot.
that before. I think this was the missing piece. Like, I've got all the science and the protocols and all the fitness, all that, got that. So I just want better results. I want to be able to communicate more effectively with with my clients and like change their life, change the way they see life. That's very powerful. And then they have that skill and they can apply it to all of their life.
Right.
So
Right.
I think I'm done.
You think you're done
I
pursuing
think
more
I'm done.
because you sure have a lot of certifications and that's wonderful. But for anyone listening too, it's like how do they discern what
Right.
they should and because you can get stuck in learning mode, don't you think?
100%. You got to get into doing mode.
Right.
And yeah, 100%. And it's really easy because then the next thing will pop up and you're like, oh, that'll solve my problem. And so think of it like a analogy of like a bucket with holes in it. And am I feeling not good enough to stuff the holes, the bucket
Right.
holes with
Right.
stuff? Or will this actually move the dial? Will this
Yeah.
actually help somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's wonderful. Well,
It's really easy to get stuck
it
in
is. It's
learning
so
mode.
easy to get
Mhm.
stuck in all of that. And who do you feel like I'm sure you've had to do this over the years, identify ideal client. They used to use the word avatar, like how your niche. Like how did you come up with who you're really trying to, and I hate using all the words like target and who
Yeah.
you're targeting and
It's very
yes,
masculine.
and it's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
so because so many different kinds of people. I've had all different kinds of clients, but what is the one commonality of the clients that you
Yeah.
have? What are they seeking something? What is it?
I feel like they're really smart women, but there's some kind of disconnect. Maybe they have too many coaches in their life and they just need to like follow this one thing and see how their body responds. But I do want to share this because I think it would be helpful to the listeners that
Mhm,
are running
mhm.
businesses. There is an NLP practice. It's called perceptual positions. And so you can be yourself in your own shoes, looking at your ideal client and imagine what you would say to them. That's position 1. Position 2 you are now the ideal client. You are physically in their shoes, looking at you, and what would they say to you? And if you get in a really calm state and have your ideal client speak to you, you will notice their language is different, their needs are different. It's very interesting. We just did this last week. So, and then the third position would be like overlooking both positions. So, you, the coach, the ideal client, what are the commonalities? how can you help that person from like the third point of view? So it's been very helpful. I know when I first got online, the client avatar and they brainstorm like, where do
Yeah.
they live? What do they look
Yeah,
like? Blah,
yeah,
blah,
and I'm
all
like,
that.
"Wait, what? Why are
Yeah,
all
yeah.
different?" Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
This
similar
is more like
variation.
from language, but I
Okay.
guarantee that you have some more your ideal client, she has some common language that maybe you don't use. As a coach, we use different language than what our clients would use. So putting yourself in their shoes and having them speak to you, like in your imagination, you can journal about it. You can really get in touch with how are they speaking? What are they dealing with? Um, that's where the idea of this sacred relationship came from for me recently. Like, this is special when someone is trusting you with their health and their fitness and like letting you in to
Mm,
their life. Same with the business, you help people grow businesses.
right,
So
right.
it's very intimate. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a wonderful perspective, though, for everyone
Hmm.
listening to, like, think about how what a blessing that is and what an
Yeah.
honor
Honor.
that
Yep. It's
someone
sacred.
yeah, it's sacred that someone is
Yep.
trusting you with their money and their time, and when you feel that, I feel like it changes, like what you said earlier, like your
Yep.
posture, how you carry yourself. You're
Yep.
like, "I'm so honored to be helping you. I get to share all of
Uh-huh.
this with you and help you
Right.
in the same way that"
It was
Yeah.
It was really helpful, and when I was in the third position looking down and like, what is this? It's a sacred relationship, and it's like, that's exactly what this is. So that, I just went through this activity last week, and I was like, yeah, that changes my perspective even more. Like, it's really special what we get to do. We get to go have a business online, or if you're in person, whatever, and actually change somebody's life. That's really amazing.
Yeah, what an honor. Yeah, that's awesome. So I hope everyone listening, I hope you
Uh,
really take this one to heart because I think this is really good advice
mhm,
about the perspective that you have about what you're doing. This isn't just a
uh-huh.
drive-through restaurant exchange of
No.
money for a commodity. It
You're not selling, cell phone cases on
No, I
Amazon.
mean,
No.
you're doing something for people. You're using your God-given gifts. You're taking your passion, your heart, and you're willing to go out there and share it with other people and put yourself out there and make a difference for them in their lives. And it's just like you wanting to help people through menopause, right? Because you
Mhm,
had such a shock that overnight
mhm,
through the surgery. And so whatever you all are thinking about starting or are building now is like what an honor that is. And when you feel it that way, yeah, it changes your approach, like, to even what you create and what because instead of just like, "Oh, how could I make quick money?" You're like, "Wait, how can I actually make a difference for these people?"
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing the perspective of it. And if you're not sure, like, which direction to go with your business, for me, I always knew my health was tied to my body from a little girl. Like, I've always known that. Maybe I just kept stuffing it down,
Mhm,
and then
mhm.
finally at age 49, you're like, "Oh, you gotta pay
Yeah,
attention."
right.
So I often find that that spark was in you as a young
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
So mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting. It was always there.
And in general, I think menopause is this peeling away of all the layers that society or your family or put on
Right,
you,
right.
and it's like literally peel the layers of the onion. So who are you really, and what do you really wanna do with your life? And menopause is the perfect time to go do
Just
that
go
thing.
for it. Just
Go
do
do
it.
it.
Everything's changing anyway, so you might as well just
Yeah.
keep going with it.
Exactly. In general, I feel like menopause is the great awakening, this great transformation. You will not find on my page me posting negative memes and making fun of menopause. If my body hears what I say, I'm not saying that stuff. Like, I don't,
Mm, yeah.
yeah, you're just not going to find that on my page. So I have a very positive outlook because I was in the dirt and I just know that there's a lot out there. There's more
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. And for those of you that are looking to be coaches or service providers or any business, I think Kim's advice is just so poignant and it's important because we have to take that passion that we have and take it with honor and realize that people are giving us money to help them and it's just amazing. I think it's such a great honor. So
Hmm.
anyways, well, I am just so excited for you, Kim, for the success of your business, how many women you're helping. It's just amazing. and that you've come up with, your menopause minis, your strength program. We have all the links down below, but this has just been such a fun conversation, and I'm so honored to have you on the show. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful.
It's been awesome. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye.